Why does YouTube not want to give me my chat screen? Hold on a second. I can't see anybody. Oh, there you are, I think. Well, hey, Tina. Oh, I know. Because it's like, I don't know. This is weird. Like the screen's different for some reason. Oh, well. So, how was your day? Did you have a good day? So, I went through all the people who entered into the giveaways, and it was very, very disappointing because I had like a bunch of names, but when I went back to check who is actually shown as my subscriber, they're not there. So the rules were they had to be showing as a subscriber. That was part of the rules. No, you didn't win. I didn't pick yet. So as far as the guys are concerned, there was only one person. So I know who that winner is. I can't draw because there's nobody to draw against. So this is what happens because you have a bunch of people who just join your channel for giveaways. And my giveaways are for my supporters I had. They're not for new people to just jump on the bandwagon. It doesn't work that way. So what I did was the smart thing to do. You take and you copy and paste and you make a friggin' list. And that shows you, and after that date, it shows you who joins. So that's what I said. I'm not stupid when it comes to giveaways, because the whole thing about a giveaway is this. I don't care if people get pissed off. They can just suck it up, buttercup. Because the whole point is to say thank you for the people. And I'm not talking it has to be people that, you know, were there from the very first day, because I like loyalty, don't get me wrong, but I also like to welcome new people. So if they had been there a month previous, that's fine too. But they had to be showing, and they've had to be active. And I have a list, and I always keep a list that I write by my own hand. Every single time somebody comes and visits my channel, I have their names. So you got to do it the smart way, because I don't trust Gleam and all those little gadgets they have online, because sometimes I think they can be finicky to specific names. And how I could prove my point on this is this. I was in a live stream one night, and there was a guy doing a giveaway a while back, and he used one of those particular types that draws automatically. And just for, you know, shits and giggles, I guess you could say, he went ahead and re-hit it again. Like, he kept doing it just to see who would get picked out of curiosity. It picked the same name 3 times in a row. That is not normal. When you've got 100 people in this particular thing and you're picking the same person 3 times, that's why I don't trust them. Because when I do it, I put it in a bag with all people's names, and I hand pick it. And every single time I do not draw the same person. Now, I'm not saying that people can't have luck and maybe be draw like a couple times in a row or something, even doing it by hand. But come on. Automatic random pickers should be just that, random. So that's why I like doing mine in a bag. But the only good thing is the online Gleam, I guess. See, this is kind of confusing too, because people will say, well, I use Gleam because if you unsubscribe, it'll show me, and then you won't be able to subscribe for future giveaways. Okay, well, then think about this for a second. What if you're on someone's channel and the bell is off, and you unsubscribe to resubscribe to turn the bell on? Because, see, a computer, I can sign in. I had somebody's I mod for bell kicked off this past week, and my phone would not let me click it. It kept giving me a 403 error. I hate when it does that crap. So what I had to do was I had to sign on my computer and hit the bell. But a lot of people don't use computers to do that, because it automatically let me rebell her without unsubscribing. But people will tell you in the streams, if the bell's not, you know, clicked, to unsubscribe and resubscribe. Well, that shows you as a new subscriber again. So I wouldn't want to do that with somebody that's using Gleam, because if you do, you're going to show that you unsubscribed and you're not going to be in any future giveaways. People have no common sense on here sometimes. So that's another reason why I don't like using Gleam. Because what's the point? You know what I mean? Because I've unsubscribed and resubscribed to channels myself if I couldn't get to the computer for like a week. So I would automatically be disqualified for any of their future giveaways. I know. So that's another reason why I don't like Gleam. But it does have the benefit that if a person is only joining for giveaways, it shows you. But then again, because some of these people don't have time to write stuff down on paper. I didn't handwrite the list. What a lot of people don't know is you can just open up your subscriber list all the way down as far as it can go, and you just copy and paste the whole damn thing into a notepad. So I can get everybody's name in one swipe. And then all I have to do is go back and, back out the rest of the stuff that it puts in there. Because I think I have a piece of paper in the back room where it puts your name in there twice, like side by side. So I can back that out. But my notepad, I've got everybody in alphabetical order who's on my channel. That's how I keep track. And there was a guy who did a video on here. Hey, Hennick's family. I had a guy that did a video on here that said, if you really want to keep up with who your subscribers are, put a folder on your desktop, copy and paste a list of them, and just keep them in there at all times. And you can see who it is. The only ones you can't see are the ones who have their settings set to private. Well, to me, you got to show, because I got to see that you're supporting. Like, I know who supports in my comment sections, don't get me wrong, but just for if they want to participate, those particular people, they can just unset those settings just until the giveaway's over. Because I know people have done that too. I've even, had regular people I've known since Instagram who will open up their privacy settings just long enough for the giveaway to be over. As long as it's not like a month, I think they'll do it for like a week or two, and then they go back to private. But I have to see them as a subscriber. And that way, if a person's saying they're following you and not, because people will do that too, they'll set their privacy settings because they don't want people to know who they're following. They would have to rejoin my channel, and that would show anyways, even if they opened up. Like, say the Hennigs family joined me 3 months ago, and they have their privacy settings set to private. For the giveaway they open it, it's still going to show that they've been there for 3 months. But if it's a person lying, they're going to have to resubscribe again. So there's ways that you can do it. You just got to use common sense. And then there's also a program called Viduli that you can subscribe. I mean, it costs like $30 a month, but it'll tell you everybody that unsubscribes from your channel. But I just don't have $30 a month to pay for it because I don't want to pay for it. I wish somebody would make an app specifically for YouTube to see unsubscribers, because they do have one for Instagram, and I do have it. The only thing that I did it for was because I wanted to check out some of these businesses that were kind of fishy. Because to me, it's like this. I follow some people that don't follow me back. That's not a problem, because I do have some bigger YouTubers I like to follow and they'll never follow back, and that's okay. But the whole point on Instagram is I kept getting these people coming back and forth. So I just wanted to watch the traffic. And because you can only follow 7,500 people on Instagram before you're cut off, that's what I think is crazy about this whole thing. When I first started, I thought it was unlimited both ways, and it isn't. It's unlimited for people to follow you, but not for you to follow other people. Nobody would ever think to Google that. And when I found out, is because I hit my end on Instagram, and I'm like, why I get this error? So then it hit me. It just came to me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to type in Google how many people I can follow, and I'll be darned if it wasn't the 7,500 limit. So I had to delete a bunch of people. I had myself that wasn't following me to have more room to add some other people that I wanted to add, especially when I started into YouTube. So then YouTube, it's 2,000. that you can follow. And I don't care what any other channel says. There is no such thing as you can only add so many people in a 24-hour period. It's a lie. When you get that 503 error, you need to do some deleting of channels to add people. Because I did everything they said, and I waited, like I told you, Tina, I waited for 3 weeks, and it never would let me add nobody until I deleted. And for 2 years, YouTube has not let me add past 2,000 people. So I don't believe it. Until I see my channel get bigger, then I'll believe it. But it's not. And they keep telling you, well, people are active and blah, blah. I don't believe that either. And I think that's why a lot of people say don't ask for people to subscribe you back, because you can't subscribe everybody that subscribes to you. But I wouldn't ask people to subscribe me back anyways. I mean, I just want to follow the people I want to follow, because it does sound like begging, and you really don't want to sound like a beggar either. But hey, Ray. So what I did was, it was interesting because these companies were trying to pick you up. That's what I was watching. I kept getting this wig company repeatedly kept commenting on my stuff. So I think, well, maybe it's a business, because I was doing reviews, that they wanted an opinion or something. So I went ahead and added them. And 3 days later, I watched it through the app where they unsubscribed from me. So they'll subscribe to you as a business just to pick up people, and then they dump you. Well, I don't want to be subscribed to a wig company. I don't even like wigs. So I unsubscribed back. I probably would have kept them if they were like makeup or something. But yeah. Yep. See, that's what they told me too, but that had nothing to do with it, Henix, because even 2 days later, 2 weeks later, it still wouldn't let me add nobody. So that 50 people a day is bull. You know, like the limit, when they tell you that you can only add a certain limit a day. And before Google bought YouTube, I literally Googled how many people I could follow on YouTube. And YouTube told me 2,000 people. Exactly. It gave me that number. Now, you try to Google that now, it's gone. But it was there. And I wished I would have print screened it to have my proof. So then I went to the help section of YouTube, because here lately I did it. And all it kept telling me was, well, as your channel grows, you'll get more growth, blah, 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 blah. It's all the stuff that a lot of the other streams are feeding people, but it's not true. Because I went into YouTube help and asked them why I couldn't add no more people. And they said to go back through your subscribers and to delete dead channels. What's that tell you? It's not giving me any information that you added too many people. It's not saying you have to go back and delete some. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. No, it was not just daily. That's a lie. That's what I said. That's coming out of other people's channels, and that's not true. I can add unlimited as long as I am under 2,000 people. It's crazy. As soon as I hit the 2,000, because I've tested it, add it to where you get a 5.0, you get that error. Wait for 3 days and see if you can still add people. I guarantee you won't, because I've done it. And then for 2 years, I tested the other way. I waited 3 weeks one time without adding anybody with that 503 error, because I had reached my 2K limit. 3 weeks, it would not let me add nobody. So I went back through and I found 3 channels that were abandoned. So I unsubscribed from them, and then I was able to add 3 more people. Because I waited it out, because I wanted to see if it was true. Test it. It's what I tell people. Don't ask people on YouTube, because all you're going to hear is a line of BS. If you want to know for facts, you test it yourself, because that's what I do. I'm going from my own personal experience. Just like I don't expect people to believe me either. Test it. So anyways, I got the names of the ladies here. And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 8 people that qualified for this drawing. So I am going to stick their names in my little handy dandy Christmas bag. And I have them all written down. I'm not going to show the names. I'll show you the picture though. This is all the pieces of paper. They're all the same size. It's confusing to me, honey. Except, I'm not meaning to be pushy or mouthy or anything. I'm just mean if you really want to know, test it. Because they changed it. Because I about died when I saw 2K. And then when I tried to tell people, they kept thinking, no, that's not true. Because this other YouTuber told me that you only could add so many a day and blah, blah, blah. I said, test it. If you don't believe me, test it yourself. Next time you get to 503, or don't add nobody for 3 days. Just stay away from the streams where people are adding each other. And I'm telling you, you won't be able to. Unless somebody's channel is taken down by YouTube and unsubscribes you on its own, it doesn't happen. Because I tested it. It's crazy. So I'm putting everybody's names in here that I have. I'll announce the guy last, since there's only one anyways. Well, I guess I could announce the guy first, because I usually always do just the females first. And do the guys last. So I'll do the guys first. So the winner here is, I'm going to have to get with him too, because I know him and he's been a great supporter too. The winner in the males is the White Tupac. How many times you've seen him pop in here too? He's a great supporter and he's funny too. He's a riot. So he's the male winner. So now I'm just going to have to get see if he's got PayPal or something, because I think with the men, what I'm going to do is just flip them some cash, because I never know what to buy the guys. So with ladies, it's easier because they can pick if they want in it. So the names are in here. This bag is like awful. It's a Bath and Body Works bag, and I'm going to flip it upside down. Hold on. Shake, 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 shake. Yeah, he's great. I have one female in here. She has been so lucky on my channel. She's been with me for a long time. And she's won, I think, like 2 giveaways so far. But she's somebody that I had met through Instagram too. So she's on 2 of my social medias. We'll see if she wins again, because it's like, really? Not again. If she gets it again, I'll laugh. She never won like in a row, but she's won at different times. And I will have these signed for whoever wins, because I had one that never made it. It said it was delivered and it never was. It was stolen. She was furious. And I was too, because it was, even though you get insurance on your mail when you mail it, once it says it's delivered, they're not responsible anymore. So now I have things signed for. I won't do that again. And she was bumming. She was like so bummed. And she ended up winning, I think, 2 later. She won again, which I thank God, but it wasn't the same stuff, because I had an Urban Decay palette. She really wanted. I don't blame her. And it got stolen. And she said, I don't even know if it was the mailman. And then what was weird, she was in Louisiana. And then we saw it trending on YouTube. You could probably even search it, where there was a mailman that was stealing everybody's mails in Louisiana and burning it. So I'm not even sure it got delivered. I don't know if it was in her area, because I didn't check, but it was in the same state. And I found that awful curious, because she said the second time when she won another giveaway, another time, she watched the same mailman come to her house, turn around. She was getting ready to call the cops, because she thought he was going to take a second package. And here he must have seen a signature was required, and he had to turn back around. And then he delivered it to her. Oh yeah, you can't always trust mail people. They had another one who was taking mail and sticking it in a freaking storage unit. Could you imagine how many? This is what I kept thinking. How many bills did not get delivered to these people and they had to pay the late fees? I mean, when you think about some of these credit cards and these interest charges and stuff, you know how horrible that would be? Hey, Patricia, that would be so messed up. I know how much the interest fees are on stuff, or, you know, you got to stop payment because you got that $35 overdraft. That would be horrible. And here, the summer before last, a neighbor come up to me 4 blocks down the road. They were picking up garbage in their yard, and my sticker for my license plate was in their freaking yard. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It was due in 2 days for my license plates, and they found it in their yard as garbage. So it's like me and my husband, we're like really sticklers. And I went down to the post office. Don't think I didn't have my little, you know, bitch fest. I said, this is absolutely ridiculous that we're in a small town. It's not even like we're in a city or a big place that can be mixed up. I said, but for my mail to be in somebody's yard 4 blocks up, that's absolutely awful. So we kind of keep track when our Department of Motor Vehicles and all that kind of stuff is due, so that we don't end up in trouble, because I could get pulled over by the cops and fined for that too. A ticket. It's nuts. And post office boxes, you have to watch that too, because a lot of times they will say no PO boxes are allowed for certain things you order, you know what I mean? So you can't even trust the actual post office. And when we lived in our last town we lived in, which was a town down from us, I literally, and this was crazy. I ordered the whole entire, I don't know if you guys remember One Tree Hill. I ordered the whole entire CD collection because I kept missing, you know, episodes. I wanted to watch it all the way through. So I had a PO box at the time. Well, I got a slip in my PO box when I went to pick up my mail saying that my movies were there. But when I went to turn the slip in, they couldn't find it. And I was like, what the heck? I mean, this is a post office box. So 2 days later, I get another slip to come and pick up my mail. I said, listen, I make another trip in here, because I went in a second time. And I said, I make another trip in here. You people are going to hear somebody that's really nasty, because this is ridiculous. I drove all the way in here. You couldn't find it. And then I get a slip again, like somebody knows where it's at. And they couldn't find it. I said it was the shape of it was like a rectangle. And it's heavy. I said, because I know it's not going to fit in the actual PO boxes. It's just a little one. So it's got to be sitting somewhere. So they're walking around. And I mean, this woman, she looked and looked and looked for like 20 minutes. She said, I mean, we just can't find it. So I'm not making another trip in here for it. So if you find it, you're just going to have to find somebody to deliver it to my house, because I'm not going through this. It's a waste of gas. So she's just like, well, just hold on a minute. So they had a couple people looking. Here they were walking right past it. It was underneath the counter where their feet were, where they were actually doing sales to people, like, you know, stamps and stuff. It was right underneath against the wall. You people are absolutely ridiculous. So, like, the post office where I'm at now, if a package is too big for your box, they'll take it and they'll write you a pink slip, and then you go pick it up, and they actually have shelves that you can see where the mail's at. So it's a lot easier at this post office. But one day they stuck that pink slip to my door, and it blew across my yard. I'm like, really, people? I'm on a hill. Now, Hennix knows pretty much what kind of area we live in, because she doesn't live far from me. When you are on a hill here, you can't even set up a garden flag, or it's going to be the next house over. You can't have like outside decorations here. If you have a flag, it better be attached to your house. That's all I have to say. Because when the wind blows up here, you just can't keep stuff like that. And I'm always envious when I see, like, you know, the people that's got the little gnomes and the little cute decorations in their gardens and stuff. I can't have that kind of stuff unless it's like down and hidden by something. Because the last windstorm we had, we're talking a 2-cage dog. And it completely knocked out my neighbor's fence and landed up against their house. Thank God my neighbors aren't too happy. And the fence was rotted because he's like, the neighbor's husband, he was funny. He says, we wanted that knocked out anyways because we want to put a new one in. He says, but I said, well, I'm just glad you had a brick house and it didn't hurt your house. And it did. It blew our whole dog kennel over. So we had to take, and it was in the ground. He had to take and put different clamps that snap in deeper. And it's terrible out there. She goes out there sometimes and he's got, what's it called? Not plastic, but tarp over top of her cage. And it just beats all the heckin' back. That's how windy it gets up here. When I opened my used bookstore, and this is no lie, guys, it blew off 25 times off of my garage. I got so sick of it. I said, you know what? You're going to have to help me get a frame for the yard. That's why my one of my customers, her husband took a cast iron bed frame and made me a frame for my sign because we would find it in the driveway. We Velcroed it. We duct taped it. We did both to it. And it would not hold that sign on my garage door. That's how bad the wind gets up here. So, Tupac, you missed it. Do you happen to have a PayPal account, mister? Because you won my mail giveaway. Ooh, you're going to get some cash. So I have to get with you to get your email to your PayPal if you have one. I got to figure a way to send it to you. And I'm not doing it Western Union because they charge too much. So I'm going to stick it in here, and the women's I'm going to stir up really well. I'm going to open it. I'm going to flip them inside. Like I said, I give it a good swishing. My sister uses a hat during our family reunion, and it's really funny. Then I'm going to close it again. See, these guys like this torture. Ooh, the suspense. Did you hear me, Tupac? You have a PayPal? Hello, hello. Okay, guys, are you ready? Here we go. Tina's holding her breath. Tosh time! Oh my God! She's gonna be so shocked. So Tosh won all my goodies. That's awesome. Sorry, Dana. That's who did. She won it. Oh, and she loves her makeup too. I had Keisha in there. See, and I'll show you everybody's names I had in here. I can't believe Tosh won. That is so hysterical. I just bought her merch mug. And then here's Brick's Bear. And I even had way out of the country. There was Christine and Bonnie and Clive. And here was Angeli. She's the one that always wins off of me. I swear she does. She's won like 2 or 3 of them. And then Second Chance Creations by Krista. And if you haven't won, and then there's Tina. And if you haven't won, don't worry, because there's more. Sometimes I do sneaky ones too. You just never know. I don't just do 2K. Since I've been on here, you can go through my playlist and count how many so far that I have done. There's a lot. As a matter of fact, I have 2 more prizes sitting right beside me, and you just never know when they're going to pop up. I always have a supply of giveaways. Sometimes I add to them, like I'm going to be doing a back to school one. But I always have something. Sometimes I might pick random, like, I don't know if you were here through the month of November, but what I did for the month of November was I took every single week to show gratitude. And I bought all these really cute, like, Christmas decorations. One was like a Santa with a sleigh, and I had a deer, and it just randomly, people love that kind of stuff for decorations. And I had a lot of really interesting winners. People who had been with me for a while, and some who just joined, like maybe a month before. So it turned out really nice. So you just never know. I do sneaky ones. Then I did a sneaky secret Santa one too. But I have another one here. I might go ahead and do here soon, because being that it's getting warmer out. Well, I guess I could show you guys. You want to see? You want to see? This is more for a spring one. This was already finished. The collection of it. I could do a secret giveaway right now. Coming up. So this is what I picked for the gardener. I got some really cute gloves. I got a nice little dirt shovel. And I got a nice little dirt picker. And look at all these seeds. I got forget-me-nots. I got morning glories. I got sunflowers. I got watermelon. I got African daisies. I got coleus. I got pumpkin. I got peppers. And I got garden green beans. Yum, 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 yum. My dad puts his garden in like right after Mother's Day, because sometimes we get a frost here still. And so that's why I figured I better do this one soon. And then if you are a junk journaler, these bags these seeds are in, they're freaking awesome to stick in a journal. They like the seed packs. And pumpkins are, of course, in October. Look how pretty. Yeah, it's a lot of seeds. But you can also share them with people too, you know. You can take half and put half in, or however you want to do it. But look how nice that is. I love these gloves. Look how cute they are. They got like vegetables on them. So what I'll do with these is I'll probably announce it and just put anybody not here in this description, but I'll put it up. I don't know. I could put like a summer seed giveaway or something for anybody that's interested. I don't know who my gardeners are, but I thought it was cute. I like stuff like this, so. But I like it, like it, like it. So this will be a small giveaway. I don't know if I'll announce it or do it now. I don't know. I might just put it up as another surprise small giveaway. And then people can just comment underneath if they want it. And I'll just do it that way. And do it the same way. Just make, as long as they show us subscribers, we're good. But I can't believe Tashi, what, that's so funny. She's going to die. I already have her address too. That's comical. I've sent her one present so far, and she sent me a gift. And it was nail polish, just a little something, something. And she just, that's just so funny. I can't believe she won. That's comical. She needs it though. Yeah, I know, but still, it's fun while it lasts. And another thing too, if you get the bulbs, my grandmother planted the bulbs that come out every Easter, like right at spring, And I'm telling you, they came out every year for a long time, even after she passed away. So I wouldn't say those die. They just keep coming back. Tulips, they're awesome. I would have a couple yellow ones come up in one area, and every time I saw them, it reminded me of her. But one thing about those is you can eat them and your pumpkin seeds. I can grow seeds up to a point, to a little plant, and everything's all good, but I just can't do it after that. Like my husband will start a garden. He's really good at growing stuff, and I can weed it and do all that kind of stuff, but he's actually the nurturer of it. Like he's a better gardener than me. I kill everything. I can't have a plant in my house. All my plants are fake. So, but I love digging in the dirt, and I do love throwing wildflowers out just to come up spontaneously. And he kept mowing them over because he didn't know that I stuck them out there. So, you know, it kind of didn't succeed for that reason either. But when we worked together on something, it did really well. My last place that I moved from, I bought those bricks that had them swirly humps. And I made a little garden, and I put tulips and stuff, and it was thriving. So I was really proud of myself that I finally had a little flower garden, and we moved. So, but I have it, when I worked at Lowe's, I did the greenery of all places. For somebody that doesn't have a green thumb, I don't know why they stuck me there. But I got a tree on discount, and it's beautiful. It's called a Japanese blood red, and it's way prettier than a red maple, and I have it in my backyard. I'll have to take some pictures and post on Instagram. Oh, we go love your little one. I miss my kids when they were little. They grew up too fast, guys. And then they're gone. They go poof. And my Wednesday welcome list, of all places, when I go to take a break, to take a little tinkle, I'm going to run downstairs and grab my list to shoot it in the room, because this is kind of like networking night too. And I left it in my store. So I'm going to have to go get it. And this particular list, I try to share out on my Wednesday welcomes, because this particular list is a little different, because some of my favorite bigger YouTubers are on it. So I'm going to stick them in there too, just because. And for some reason, I always get trashed for one of them that I follow when I announce it, but I don't care, because I'm not ashamed of it. There's a lot of people that give you grief on certain people you follow, and I think it's awful when they're bigger YouTubers. But I don't care, because it's people that's my interest. And technically, it's funny, because one of them, I don't know how I would have felt about him when I was younger. But then again, I don't know. I've never tried to be judgmental with people. And it's just something about his videos. He just cracks me up, and I just love watching him, and it's just hysterical. But I do get grief from time to time. People just can't leave the past go. Because I guess he made some mistakes before I knew who he was. And well, when I met him, he wasn't making those mistakes. So who am I to hold a grudge against somebody when I wasn't there? And people got to learn to forgive. And I think people just can't. If you can't forgive someone, like if you don't want someone in your life, this is my philosophy. Forgive them, but you don't have to have them in your life. They can be at a distance. And then there's people, if you want them in your life, you still got to learn to forgive them. You know what I mean? And then there's people you give so many chances, and you just don't have that any more chances left. And you're just like, I'm done. Everybody has their limit and their way of doing things. But yeah, I walked into a stream one night, and there was a guy with me, and I'm not going to mention any names until if she ever crossed me, I would, but I won't. You know, if she made a big to-do about it or made a video about it, I probably would say something. But I went into a live stream with, and there was another guy in there at the time. And basically, it was a lipstick conversation. And the person was talking, but I couldn't see her. So I said, is there something wrong with your video because you're not showing? So then she come live. So I don't know if it was my end, her end, or what, but she showed up and then we were talking about lipstick. She actually was talking about that subject. So then I was like, what's your favorite lipstick? And then she said what her favorite, and I said what mine was and who it was by. She had a fit. Get out of my room. I mean, she screamed at me. There was a guy that was in the room with me. I'm like, really? Over because I choose to, well, this person was racist, and because she was a black lady, she just got mad. And it's like, I didn't know his past. I only knew his lipstick. And she was calling me names and everything else. And this guy's like, that was just awful. So I was still sitting there and she goes, oh, she's probably over there in the corner crying. I'm like, this bitch don't know me to even judge me like that. And it's going to take more than her to get me to cry. I was just sitting there thinking, does this woman need help? Does she need therapy? Because I would have never treated somebody like that coming into my stream. And so that's what happened was I just ended up leaving because some of the people who were her followers started running her mouth. I'm not going to stay where I'm not wanted. And then I come over to my channel and I did a video, and this guy that was there, he says, man, that was awful how she treated you. He says, I so unsubscribed from her because you did not deserve it. He saw the whole thing. And I'm like, it doesn't bother me because I've been up worse people against her. She was mild compared to things I've been up against. But it's just really sad because we run kind of in the same circles and I run into her every once in a while. And I find it very interesting that she's one of my subscribers, but her ass is staying blocked. And one of the other YouTubers that knew her one time said something, somebody mentioned her. And I come out and, just a little bit said something. They go like, oh, she just jokes. I said, no. First impressions with me are everything. You blow that first impression, you ain't never getting a second chance from me. And somebody brand new coming into my stream, I would never want them to forgive me either if all I did was run them down in front of my friends. So you know what I'm saying? First time person into your stream, You can sit there and say she's joking all your life, but she needs psychiatric help. That's worse than a bully. That's an asshole. And I will never have nothing to do with her. I don't care whose friend she's with. No. And that's one of the things that I learned clear back for being in Yahoo. First impressions are everything. I've always been that way, period. Offline, online, I'm the same. So if you give me a shitty first impression, you're shit out of luck. But I mean, some people can have a bad day. Like when I was working in a nursing home, there was a nurse when I was going in. This is a little different. I was working in the kitchen and this nurse came in and she was just, you could just tell she was frazzled. And was doing something. She got real snappish with me. And I just looked at her and I'm like, excuse me, I don't work for you. And she walked out of the room. So then I walked out a little bit later. I waited for like 10 minutes. I'm thinking, she never acts like this. So something's got to be wrong. So I walked out and I'm like, listen, I don't know what your issue is, but if you need to talk, you can vent. I'm not going to tell nobody. It's not like I know your family and your friends. We just work here. And next thing you know, this woman breaks down. She had just had a baby. She was trying to take care of the baby, take care of it. You know what this is like after you have a kid. And I knew this too, that she had had a baby. So I had a feeling something was, I just can't do it all. She's I'm getting up every 2 hours. I'm trying to come to work. I'm trying to make dinner. And I felt so bad for her because she was like a new mom. Now that's a little different. She got snappish, but she didn't call me names and things like that. It was just, you know what I mean? So sometimes people can have a bad day and the first impression's not the best, but because she broke down and spilled the beans, and I totally understood why she felt the way she did. She was going through a little postpartum depression. So I overlooked it, and after that, we were friends. Like, we weren't best friends, but you know what I mean? We were mutually fine with each other. And that I can forgive, and I'm okay with it. But this other woman, no. So, you know, I do listen and I do take things in. I don't just jump to how I feel. If I don't like a person, there's a reason. So anyways, I'm going to be right back because I'm going to go grab me a water because it is a little warm in here. And I'm going to grab that list. I will be right back. So when people read the live, they will have the names. So give me a second. I don't know if Tupac heard my message or not. All right. Here's my water. Oh. So here's my next list. Okay. Some are big, some aren't. Some you recognize. I'll have to go to his stream. Okay, so here are the channel picks. Let's see how my word is. Okay. So the first one will be, I try to pick 10 a week. There's one. And of course, this one. So if anybody comes in and you want a network, these are really good channels to join, in my opinion. And then this one here, he's been with me since my channel started. He's probably one of the first two. That even joined my channel. When you go clear back into my comments, is D1. He is so funny. And here are the bigger ones that I like listen to. I know a couple people made bashing comments for a couple of these, but I don't care. I love Karina Kaboom. She's the biggest makeup gossip on here. Anything that's happened in the makeup world, she knows it. This is my favorite makeup artist. Of all times, all over YouTube. She is my favorite, and she's got class. And get her name in here. I have one of her books too. I freaking love Lisa Eldridge. And then here is one of my, she is really involved in Ipsy. And this one here has a wonderful channel, and she is very honest in a lot of her reviews. And when she tells you something slides on her lips and it's magnificent, she ain't kidding. I love Danielle Rae. She is wonderful. She has Monday hauls of makeup, and she gets tons of PR, but I just love her. And then my favorite younger girls that I've been watching, these are people I've been watching for a while, are Kortney and Karlee. They are absolutely adorable. They're sisters, and they're complete dolls. And then my other one, I love, there was one I posted of her videos where this one here did an interview with her grandmother before she died. And oh my God, I just wanted to adopt her grandma. She was so darn cute. It's Just Ann. If you ever get to her channel, go look for the one where she's talking to her grandmother. Oh my God, her grandmother was adorable. And then, of course, the one everybody hates, and I get backlash every time I do something that I've had to delete out of my comment sections, is Jeffree Star. Everybody hates him for some reason. Like, he's got like a huge fan base, but then he's got haters too. And I get bashed so many times in my comment sections because I tagged him under one of my videos. Somebody's like, why would you want anything to do with him? And that's what that lady bitched me out of her stream over, was one of his lipsticks. And I'm like, listen, I don't care what these people do. I just like his lipsticks. So these are my favorites for the week. But there was this one that even my husband rolled laughing. When Jeffree Star and Laura Lee were still friends, they did this test on this brush cleaner that she found in his kitchen, and they were together. It was a collab video. I laughed so hard watching that video. I about peed my pants. That was like the funniest video I've ever seen. They could not stop laughing at this machine that did the wonkiest things to your makeup brushes. I rolled. I was in tears laughing at that video. So it's still up, I think, somewhere in his videos. But oh my God, it was the most hysterical thing I've ever seen. It's too bad they're not friends anymore. But when they were funny. So those are my biggest favorites. The bigger ones. Everybody keeps asking me, did you hear of PewDiePie? I'm like, no. I've never heard of PewDiePie, and I've never watched one of his videos. The only time, I think, the first time I heard of that name was somebody came into Pusha Studios and put, he needed subscribers or something, and put his name in the chat room. And I had no clue they were talking about, because I hear he's a gamer, like now. My hairdresser even told me. She goes, you watch YouTube? Do you see PewDiePie? That's so funny because his name keeps popping up, but I don't know who he is. So, like, you know, but I'm picky on who I watch. Like, I usually give about, you know, a lot of people will say, check out one video. Well, I don't do just one. I try to give people at least 2 or 3 chances when it comes to their videos, because, you know, when you're amateurs and you're trying, it's kind of harsh to judge somebody on a video because they could have been having a bad one that day. So usually before I follow somebody, I roll down their entire video list just to see what the titles and things are and what the thumbnails are. And I'll watch a few. If it's a category I didn't think I'd be interested in, I'll try a couple of the videos and see if it changes my mind. But I always give people a chance. So this is my third. That was my second Wednesday list. We'll see who pops up next week. But I do like going through my comment sections, and I'll take time and pick people. So you never know when your channel is going to be blasted over here. But what I used to do for my Welcome Wednesdays was just a video. I would name the list of people and then leave their links below. And I kind of like doing it live better now. And then just whoever I decide to pick for next week. But I try not to pick the same people until I'm through the entire list that I want to post, and I'll just start over. But I have my reasons for liking them. Each one of them. And I mean, I don't totally agree with everything that people do. Like, I know I have a potty mouth, but I try not to cuss so much. I've been working on it. So if I'm on a channel and they're like constantly dropping the F-bomb like every third word, I won't stay with those channels. It's not that I have a problem if they slip or something, but I don't want to hear that the whole time I'm watching their video. You know what I mean? So let's see. We have these two. I'm so excited. I really am, because I've known Way Tupac for a while too, and that's awesome. Tasha's going to be so shocked. She doesn't know what to do with herself. She's going to have a big old surprise. You guys fall asleep on me? Hello? Or did my chat freeze? Did my chat freeze? I hope not, because I don't see nobody typing. Oh, there you go. Who read what wrong? Listen to you. You're so ornery. Look how pretty these are. I might just go ahead and do a video and show the gardening tools, and I'll just say whoever comments below is going to be entered. It makes it difficult though, because there's some people who comment that don't. They comment because they want to show support, not necessarily to enter the giveaway. Or I could just randomly pick a name. I don't know. Sometimes I do that too. But I like, for gardening, I would like it to be a gardener. I don't want somebody to just pick up the prize that doesn't care to garden. You know what I mean? Unless they know somebody that does. These turned out really pretty. They turned out so pretty that it's like, do I want to keep them? Well, I could do that too. But you know, though, I did that one time and nobody answered. I was like, you'd be freaking kidding me. Nobody stayed to the keyword got there. They must have just came in and hit the thumbs up and left. And I had nobody that wanted my prize. I was so depressed. So I picked somebody randomly. But it wasn't like gardening or anything specific. It was just a Game of Thrones book. And I think it was Lunatic Dad that won it. I sent it to him because I just picked random people. Because some people don't, I don't know. I feel like they're prideful too, and they don't want to enter giveaways. Because I don't want my giveaways. They're not about getting people. They're not about growing my channel. My giveaways really are a thank you. And I noticed, like, when I started on Instagram, like I said, I didn't know I wasn't paying attention to the repost and, tell a few. I didn't even think about that as growing. My thought process is not greedy. You know what I mean? So it just didn't hit me until later. I'm thinking, oh my God, team, you just like overlook the obvious right in your face. I thought that they were adding the 3 people just to let their friends know that they had good makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like, invite your friends to join into this because it was mostly makeup giveaways so that they can see how good our products are. I never looked at it as channel growth. That just goes to show sometimes how I overlook things. And so I started my giveaways like that on Instagram. And then when I realized what it meant, I was like, no, 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 no. What it actually is thank yous. And then when I saw this one girl post, this is really for my subscribers and just comment below, then that's when I started doing my giveaways that way, because that's the way I'd rather them be. Because a lot of times, people think that their channel's growing because of their giveaways, and it's really not, because they're only subscribing for the prize and then they leave. And I don't want my channel to be about that. My back to school giveaway is because when I told, I've told this story a couple times, that I knew what it was like with 2 kids trying to struggle, but even with me and my husband working minimum wage when we started out, I mean, we're talking like $3 and something. My minimum wage it was terrible. And trying to get school clothes and school supplies and all that kind of stuff for your kids, it can be a struggle. So I told him if we ever got to a little bit of a better place, I mean, I can't do their school clothes, but I could at least help with the school supplies. And I loved shopping with my girls. That was like one of the favorite things that we always did. It was really cool to see them pick out like certain cute stationery and cute little folders. And I miss all that. They're grown up and they left home and I have the empty nose syndrome. So when I came on here, I thought, Danielle Rae did a back to school giveaway. She's the one that started me doing it. And I loved the concept, except hers is a lot bigger because she does makeup. Hers is more, it's kind of geared between the mom can take the makeup and the kids can keep everything else, or it could be a college student, where mine, I think, is more focused on the littler kids. And I remember what it was like as a struggle. So I said, even if I can help one mom get school supplies for some of her kids, I'd be so happy. And so far, the 2 giveaways, I've got to personally see the box, personally see the pictures of the kids, like, around it going through stuff. So it was really cool to be able to do that and know that it went to some good people. Because, anybody can fake it and sell your stuff, but these people didn't. They really do have kids and they really love the stuff. So I was glad that I did that. And then last year when I did it, because I've been doing it every year since I started. I've only been on YouTube for 2 years, so I've done it twice. And somebody come to my channel, was like, I've never seen another channel do this. And I said, well, it's there. It's just not, you'd have to Google back to school giveaways. I mean, or search it on YouTube for them to come up. But it's not common. Like I see a lot of the littler channels and they just didn't do it. But I told my husband, I'm going to. If I can help one kid, I will. And he gets it. But I can shop all year for it. And I have pretty much of a random idea of a list. And I put it out there. And then sometimes I'll even ask, is there anything extra that you all can think of? Let me know. Because I think red pens was added to my list last year because I didn't know that kids needed red pens. So I added that. And then the girl that ended up winning it was funny because she's the one that gave the suggestions. So I was really happy. And then it went to her little sister. And then her sister drew me a picture as a thank you note, which, oh my gosh, it means the world to me to have homemade stuff. So she drew a picture for me and I have it hanging in my store and I never took it down. It'll stay on that wall forever. She drew a little picture from my store and I love it. It's still there. So to me, it's like, that's what YouTube is to me when I say friends and family. That's when you help people and you meet good people. And when I look at it that way, it overrides all the trolls and all the bad stuff that happens. That's my philosophy. So that's why I did the backpack program. And I'm raising money for the backpack program again this year. Usually, since I opened my store 6 years ago, every single year I would put like, pieces of paper in that same bag and I would draw a nonprofit organization to get money. Sometimes I will put my favorites in it, like breast cancer awareness. And I've done, oh gosh, DAV.org, which is disabledveterans.org, is one of my favorites. I did St. Jude's one year. And then the backpack program's local. So it's not like I give a link for people to donate to because it's a local program that helps kids that can't afford food. And I love it because the kids that can't afford it get it all summer too. So it's not just a school program. It runs all summer long. And during the school year, they don't have to have as much money for it as when the summer runs out. But because they keep it till it's needed, they will have it. So last year it was really awesome. And it took me a whole entire year to raise $207. That goes to show how much I suck at fundraising. But my goal, because I'm not like a big business, that if I can even get 100 a year, I'm happy. So disabled veterans got 100, and then St. Jude's got 100. They get in hundreds. I mean, if I get $104, they get $104. It just all depends what I can raise. But 207 was the most I've raised. But I do keep forgetting to suggest it. When customers come in, I catch myself, you forgot to tell them that you were collected money for. Because sometimes if you do, they'll say keep the change on a purchase, or they'll throw in an extra dollar. And sometimes they don't. And that's okay. I'm not going to force people. But I also had a giveaway in my store that was really cool. I had 2 of them. My first 25th customer. Let's see, how was that? No, this is what happened. Well, hi, Tabby. When you start a business and you're new, the first one came out of the blue. It was the local newspaper. Anybody that had a brand new business, they would feature your business for like a small fee. And if a person shopped in your store and turned in the receipt, they had a chance to win $100, $200, or $300 prize. Something like that. Well, a lady had moved here from Arkansas and became one of my neighbors. Well, she kept coming into the store shopping, and I told her about it. Well, she ended up winning the $200 prize. She turned in, she goes, "You're not going to believe this." She come back to the store. She goes, "I turned in the receipt to your store and I won $200. So I was so happy. And then I think it was my 50th customer or my first 100th customer, something like that. Maybe it was my first 100th customer. I did a $25 giveaway. And a girl came in who was a new mom, and her and her husband were actually struggling. And I waited till they made a purchase, and I never told them. She made a purchase for some kids' books, and then she turned around and won basically over what she just paid for what she bought, and then some. Because my store, is cheap. I think she came in and bought like $1 worth of books, and she won 25. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're kidding me." And I'm like, "No, I put a thank you card for being my first 100th customer, and I put $25 in for her in cash." So she was all tickled. I love surprising people. Oh, that's sad. It's terrible when we lose them so young. That's terrible. See, and that's what I think's awesome. Aw, see, that's so sweet. My mom was telling me that her church one Christmas, they took I think it was hot chocolate packets and a bunch of like non-perishable things, like things that they could use, like a pack of tissues. They made up this shoe boxes of care packages and sent them to the military people. I thought that was like such a cool idea. She had a list, but I can't remember everything that was in it. And but I'm gonna do the backpack program again. I wasn't going to, but I didn't draw, and I just figured, the lady was so thankful when I turned the money in, and she was just like, I just went and bought a bunch of Cheerios. Like she just had got back shopping from it, and she says every cent helps. And she told me that it took care of 50 something kids. So I will get to know where the money goes, like, and how many they're taking care of. So this year I decided to continue with the backpack program another year. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. I think I might do the draw for next year. Aw, see, that's awesome. How do they collect money? Do they have like a website you can donate to, or? And you can always put that up if you had a channel, Tina. If you did one uploaded video and you had, like, say you did a crafting video or something, it doesn't matter if it's just showing your hands, that you can actually put that in your description and tell them that it's a fundraiser. You never know who will donate. Put it there and put a little description underneath of what it's for. You'd be surprised. Because when I was doing this school one, it was the first time I had used YouTube, because mainly it was all for my physical store. And then I thought, well, I'll just try it on YouTube and see what happens. I had a couple donors come through, and I don't care if it's $2 or $5. I didn't even know who they were. One of them sent me an email. It was a guy, and he donated right into my PayPal. I thought that was so nice. So, you can use your platform to really do some good things. I don't care how big or small the amount is. I just wanted to do something nice to give back to people. I don't care about it being in the paper, and I don't care about getting certificates and awards for it. That's not what it's about. I always used to do stuff behind the scenes. I remember one year when I was bartending. Okay, here you go, Michelle. Here's another bartender story. My boss came in and they went to all the local bars. They said, we're going to do the ugliest leg contest, and the money went into muscular dystrophy or something like that. And it was just crazy because we had to draw straws at the bar, and I drew the short one. And so I ended up doing the ugliest legs and put up there, but nobody would donate. They're like, but your legs aren't ugly. I said, that's not the point. It's going to a good cause. And I could not get money out of people. It was terrible. I said, you people are awful. So I took the tips that I made and I stuck it in the can instead. And I think I ended up with only, like, I don't know, because it was short. We only did it for a short period of time. And I think they only got, like, I don't know, it was like $30 or $50 at the time. But I remember when I bartended, a draft beer with a cold mug out of the freezer was 70 cents. A beer was $1, and a mixed drink was $1.10. Isn't that awful? And if your person would come in and they would pick up a bag of chips, it was 30 cents. And we had Slim Jims that was hanging there that you could get for 25 cents. Remember all the freaking prices in the bar. But I couldn't tell you any other prices in places I worked, but I did remember the bar prices. And I remember this one guy, he was a friend of my brother's. You know, if you did stuff like this now, you'd probably get sued for it. So here's another bartender story. I don't know if Michelle watches these, but I love telling these bartender stories. His name was Benji, and he was so bad. He would, because I used to smoke, so he took the top piece of my tobacco out of my cigarette, and he stuck those caps in it that when you lit it, it blew up. Not to hurt you, but just to scare the bejesus out of you. Because all you would let your I go, how do you know what cigarette to pick? He got me like a few times on a prank joke. So I'm going to tell you a joke that you can do to people. Visine eye stuff will give you the shits. And a lot of people don't know this trick. So one night he ordered a draft beer, and I put like 7 drops of Visine in his beer. And we were behind the bar, and the girl I was working with that night, we were freaking rolling because we were doing the countdown to see how fast he would run to the bathroom. So he was like sitting there, and like 10 minutes later, he kept looking around the room like he was in discomfort. And he ran to that bathroom. He didn't come out for an hour. We sat there and rolled, and he never knew that I stuck it in at the beginning. He didn't know. But if you think about it now, God forbid if he would have had an allergic reaction and died or something, I would have never lived that down. I would have never forgiven myself. You gotta watch what you do to people. But back in your 20s, you don't care. It's like, when he found out, he says, "Oh, you're so gonna get it." I said, "Listen, you've been blowing up my cigarettes for 3 weeks." I said, "Now, how's it feel?" And he quit doing it. But a lot of people don't know that Visine does that. And I thought that was hysterical because that was a tip that another bar person shared with me. Says, "You want to get even, give him the shits." And I did. So we did bad things. We were so naughty. But I got to save my bartender stories because I want to share one so that if Michelle puts me in her playlist, she can get some giggles. But oh my God, we had so much fun. Some of the things we did were just crazy. But it was funny because he didn't do it again, thank God. I hated it because you would be sitting there like nonchalantly talking to somebody, you'd light a cigarette and go pow. And the very tip of your cigarette would split. And I said, "What are you going to do if this blows up in my eyeball one day?" He says he just laughed. He would sit in the bar and roll, knowing that I was lighting that cigarette, little snot. So, you know, when you get it, but I knew him. He was a kid from our neighborhood. We used to torture. We used to torture each other. But oh my God, it was so funny. He would call me up on the phone to tell me about the guiding light. I go, I don't know any guys that call women talking about soap operas. Oh my God, he was so funny. You meet some crazy people in your lifetime. And I don't know whatever happened to him. Like, I don't even know where he's at today. But I just think it's funny how many people like come in and out of your life. You know, I just think it's interesting. They're in for a time. But I thought that was comical. I need some cotton balls. Hold on a minute. My nail polish needs replaced. Okay. So I got some more cotton balls because I ran out my little thing where I keep them. Oops. I'm knocking stuff over as usual. Okay. So we will go over here. This is my little stopper. I love this little container. I think this was a candle or something. They're awesome to take candle jars like this and turn them into cotton ball containers. So I have that, and I have this. We got to figure out what polish to do today. So, you know, I've been in the mood for green. So maybe I'll try something different. Let's do a green color. Oh, I got a boo-boo. Did you see my boo-boo? You see my boo-boo, Tina? I'll show you my boo-boo. I made homemade meatballs, and this is where I sliced my thumb. Needs to come off anyways. I just thank God it didn't need stitches. Come on. The lid. Cut that chunk out right there. And oh my God, did that bleed. It come up through my nails. It was awful. I didn't cry. But man, did that hurt. Took me 20 minutes to get that dang thing to quit bleeding. It's awful. So I need to get some air to it. Like today I'm not exactly sure if it cut into my nail because when I touch my nail, it hurts. But there's still like, I mean, I got a shower today, but there's still like caked blood underneath of my nail that didn't come out for some reason. I mean, it bled a lot. I went through 2 Band-Aids, like over top of each other to try to get it to stop. But it was my stupidity though. I pushed on it because I hate that stupid cheap the dollar store can opener, hand can openers suck. And when I pushed it, the lid came up and just right into my hand. I was like, oh my God, it hurt. I think some of this might be some dried blood down in here. I actually could probably use a Q-tip. I'm sure it'll bruise. Come out of there. That was painful, very painful. Sometimes I think the littler cuts bleed the most. I know sometimes paper cuts do. So let's see. You know what I need? I think I need a good fishing trip. I would love to take a day and just, God, I miss camping. I haven't been camping in so long. We started out as tents when we were kids. And of course, you know, doing it the roughy way. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind building fires and doing stuff because I was a Girl Scout, but I don't want to do it that way anymore. I want air conditioning when I go camping now. If it's cool nights, I wouldn't care, but sometimes it gets so hot in the area, I can't stand humidity. If I'm going to go camping and I'm going to do it the rough-and style, I would rather do it in the fall here. Like autumn is the perfect time of the year here because it's not too cold, it's not too hot. But in the summertime, I got more picky as I got older, and I was like, nope, not going without air conditioning. Just to have a cool sleep at night because you're always dirty and sweaty during the day from hiking it and stuff. But we used to go to Tiger Lake or whatever it's called when we were kids. Like Taggart Lake or whatever it's called. And then Tennessee was gorgeous. Oh my God. If I ever picked another state besides West Virginia to live in, it would be Tennessee. We stayed in a cabin built right into the Rocky Mountains. It was awesome. I'm like running out on the porch, and I mean, you're talking like built into the side of the mountain. Like the very tip tops of these humongous trees were right below you. And I'm like bebopping all over the place. My husband's like grabbing the rail and he's going around really slow. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He goes, heights. I don't like heights. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. He goes, no, he says, I never did like heights. I never knew that because I guess it never really came up. I was the kid my mother chased out of the neighbor's trees, so I never had problems with heights. But I thought it was funny when he did that. Comical. See, I'm not much of a beach person. My dream vacation is like a really beautiful cabin by a lake and to have a nice boardwalk where you can go out and just jump right in the water. That's me. Total country. This needs filed. I'm so not a city person or a beach person. Now, a beach for me would be maybe like a night walk or the sound of the beach. I think I could picture myself finding a really nice spot, like right before when it's like really cool and reading a book or something like that on the beach. But I'm not much of a beach person. I don't like swimming in a beach. I don't like swimming in the ocean. Now, if I got a chance to go snorkel, come on, that would be fun. I think going snorkeling would be awesome. Like going underneath the ocean and taking a bunch of pictures, like an oceanographer. Yep, that's dried blood. Hold on, I have to get this dirt out because it's disgusting. Dried blood's gross. I actually wasn't sure if this caught the bottom of my nail, so I was kind of afraid to really dig in there. But I'm not the type that's my romantic vacations on a bear rug in front of a fire. I'm not like that. But I don't know. There's just something about having a lake or a pond that I just think is really nice. The only thing I don't like about swimming in like a lake or a creek though is not knowing, like, if you get into water where you can't see what's under you, like when the dirt gets stirred up and stuff. I don't like that because when we were kids, we used to have a favorite park we hung at, and they had paddle boats. And I remember one of our friends one time didn't know what was under it because he thought because it was a pond that it was clear, because we did have like rainbow trout in it that were really pretty. And he dove in, and here it was shallow, and he cracked his head. He didn't come up, and when he did, it was bloody. So I kind of don't like where you're in waters where you can't see what's underneath. If I go to swimming at the lakes I went to, they were like kind of clear water where you can see. And two, here, some of the spots that you can go out in the country and swim, you got to watch for snakes too, because we get a lot of snakes here. We used to have racers in our old property. They had like red rings on them. They called them racers. But I don't know. Snakes don't really scare me if they don't catch me by surprise. Like, I'm not going to go out in my yard and pick one up. But I'm not, like, running around the house standing on furniture type of person. But I don't like it when I'm walking along and then all of a sudden I see something slither out of the corner of my eye. I'd rather see them from a distance before I approach them. This is good enough. I have this one Amazon site that keeps bugging me to do reviews on like 3 different products. And I sent an email to, I said, listen, if you want me to do reviews, I'm not going to take a coupon and I'm not going to do 99% off. You want me to do a review for your product, then just send it to me for free. I'll do a review, but I'm not going to lie and say it's outstanding if it's not. So I don't know if she'll contact me again or not. Because it's the truth. It's like, freaking really? Quit bugging me. Because what they want you to do is, they want you to like pay a certain amount. And then once the product arrives, then they want to like reimburse you whatever shipping or I don't know, whatever that stuff is. And it's like, what if I give you a shitty review? You're going to keep my money? No. And I've dealt with reviewers before through Amazon. And I mean, the free brush set that I got, you saw it, we know what she gave me. I gave an honest review. And I didn't have to pay nothing. I mean, it's better than paying somebody to try your product if you just give them the product. And then you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm asking for $100 for my time to do the review. If you want a review that bad and you want an honest one, then you're going to send it to me for free. I give enough reviews for things I pay for, especially on Amazon. Every time I purchase from Amazon and Etsy, I always give the seller a review. So if this person can't trust me, well, tough shit. They're out of luck. It's my philosophy. I just wonder how many people have kept their items, though, and didn't give any reviews. I wouldn't do that, though. That's mean. This is kind of pretty, but it's not my Wet n Wild gel. What I've noticed about this is LA Colors, which is pretty. But when you go to put this on, sometimes it'll leave a spot where it like separates. Like the glitter and the nail polish separates. And it looks like you got like a little bald spot. So you got to go over top of it. So I would say this does not go on as smooth as I'd like it. It's a pretty color though. This would be cute if I could add it to my crafts and decorate something. And it's called Mermaid. It's called CHL 38 Mermaid. This would be cute. You could take a mermaid coloring book page and just on the tail. Because that's what it looks like, mermaid tail. Isn't that awful? Here's mermaid tail. We want to try it. But it's pretty. Pretty. I think it's pretty. My nails, though, are so bad because they would get like so long. And ever since, you know, you get a certain age and your body starts breaking down, it's awful. Because since I've turned, I would say when I turned 50, they started chipping all the time. It's like, what the heck? So I went into the doctors because it's not calcium I'm lacking. And they told me it was vitamin B or D or something. I don't know. They got me on extra vitamins because they keep chipping. It's like just when I get them to grow out, they'll break. And I'm like, really? Because my husband used to tease me because my pinky would get like clear out to here. He goes, "What the heck?" He says, "You look like Cruella de Vil," because it would be like this would be huge and the rest of them would be so big. My pinkies always grew the longest. And I'm like, leave me alone. So I'm a lefty and I just painted my right hand. So now you're going to see the ambidextrous. Because now I'm going to go with my right hand and I'm going to do my left hand. When I had to airbrush paint, I worked for this manufacturing company. And they had all these laid up Santa Clauses and snowmen, you know, the reindeer you see in people's yards, the hard plastic. I made those. And they had a part of the company was called blow mold. And they would mold out the plastic and bake it and everything. And then it would come to my side and I would get the airbrush paint. And for the longest time when I worked for the company, I always worked at the bottom. Like I would fix all the painters' mistakes. I would use acetone and a cotton ball. And that one's a little messy, but oh well. And so I knew like where their mistakes were. So one day, the boss, the owner, well, we had a boss, but then we had the owner of a company who was out of one of the Carolinas. And he brought the boss up. And let's see, we had the owner of the building, then we had the owner of the actual company, the boss that would come in, and then we had a line leader. My line leader was Betty. She's still on my Facebook. I love her. She's my little redhead. I used to call her Betty Boop. And he come down the line one day and he's like, "Okay, little lady, I was the only left-hander. Sometimes that's a bad thing when you want to hide." He says, "We got some left-hand painters coming in here and we need you to learn how to paint." And I'm like, "You gotta be freaking kidding me." That was like the top paying job at the time too. And it's excruciating. So we were doing candles and I'm like, "Oh, I guess." So he pulls me up there and he's like, "Well, show me what you can do and then I'll show you how to do it in 3 strokes." I'm like, "I've never painted, so how am I supposed to show you what I can do?" I've never even painted a house in a room in a house. Because every time I would go to do something, you know, when me and my husband got married, "I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it." You know, I hate when guys do that. It's like, let your wives learn too. And I loved my dad for that. Because like he was working on the body of his truck and he let me paint diamonds on the back of the bumpers. It's probably the only painting I ever got to do because my daddy let me. Well, I didn't marry my daddy, that's for sure. Nobody's like your daddy. And my dad, he would let me be a little grease monkey and let me get all dirty. But my husband was always, "No, he's no fun." I got to pick on him, Tina, because he watches my videos. So you know what, Mike? So anyways, so he come out and I'm standing there and I'm like, "Okay, we'll do this." So you walk up when you're doing these. I had no clue what these, you know, how any of this was made till I started this job. And I think people picture jobs to be done a certain way. And people would even say to me, "So you sit down on your butt pretty much?" They thought you sat down and painted these faces. That's not how it works. So inside of one of these plastic plants, you stand in a paint booth. You never sit. The only time you would sit is if I think ghosts was the only thing you could sit on because all you had to do was paint the eyeballs. And there was a mask you would hold up and you would take your airbrush across the eyeballs. It was done. So you could do a whole bunch of them in one day. Well, when you're doing the bigger stuff like snowmen and stuff, you stood in a booth and you had a 40-pound metal mask that sat in the air. So this is how it's done. Like say you're doing, for example, reindeer. I was put on white. So I was the line leader. This was later. Not that day when I was learning. This was later. The white deer part, they would have a mask sitting and it had something holding it in the air, and you had to be able to twirl it. So there was a hook that came down from your booth from the top down, so that when you had it hooked up, half of the mask was in the air. You laid the deer flat down inside the mask, and then you shut the mask over top of it, and you could only see where the white paint was to go, like the chest, underneath the deer's belly, and up his tail. So me being a lefty, this mask was not set up for a left-hander. Let's just say that. Whenever I would do it, and you had to be fast, because one guy was in the front and he was setting it down on a conveyor belt, and it would go through 2 flames, fire flames, because the flames would hit the plastic and he would hold the reindeer and go around till the flame could hit it, because the flame is what made the paint stick to the plastic. So he would put him down back. I'm talking hoof to hoof. These reindeer would come down. So you definitely knew you were going to get behind. So it would come down. I would pull it off the run, slap it in the mask, slap it down, take my left hand, and my stroke was clear up around from the chest to the bottom to up the tail. So I had this repetitive stroke. It would go whoosh, 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 and take it out, set it down the run. And it was like 4,000 of them. I mean, hello, 2,000, 4,000. You did a lot. You didn't just sit there for 8 hours and do 20. And so because I kept doing this stroke, I kept bending my hand back right here, and it did something to my wrist because it was repetitive all day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours sometimes, depending on how much we had to get done. And my wrist was like clear up to here one day. This was like later, and I kept working. And my boss come around the corner. She's like, "What the heck are you doing?" She goes, "Get your butt to the nurse's station." I had never been to the nurse's station the whole time I worked there, because I always sucked up my pain. I never even screamed when I had both of my kids in natural childbirth. Total natural through it all. And not a word out of me. My mother-in-law was like, I would be screaming my head off and ripping my bed sheets. I said, why? It's not going to make it happen any faster. So needless to say, I've got a very high tolerance when it comes to pain. And so she set me down, and I had to go and do light labor for a while, which sucked. But she goes, "Why did you keep working?" I said, "Because I got kids and I need Christmas and clothes, and like my husband paid the bills and I did the extra stuff. Like I took care of the holidays and things like that, and took that off his hands." But it wasn't tendonitis or anything like that. It was called something else. It was just a repetitive stroke I did. So I had to get shots in my wrists and stuff. It was awful. But once it went down, I was back to work again. But it was just crazy because the day he was teaching me, I did it in 4 strokes. And I said, this is really hard because I had to twirl with my right and paint with my left. You got to be ambidextrous to do this freaking job. And he's saying, now I'm going to show you how to do it in 3. And I'm standing there with the owner of the company, like crap in my pants. I was nervous as it was. He's breathing down my neck right behind me, watching everything I do. And I hate that. I hate when a boss is over top of me. And he says, now watch this. But he goes, stop being nervous. He could tell. And he's like, I won't bite you. And I said, well, how do I know that? He just laughed. But he is really laid back once you get to know him. But I really didn't know him well to that day. So then he flipped it and he's like, watch. And he went this way, and this way. And what I was doing in 4 strokes, he showed me how to do it in 3. So it was really cool. But then I had to train the left-handers coming in. And the bad thing when you're training somebody, I would rather be working because your day goes faster. But when you're training someone, it's like forever. It's like, an 8-hour day feels like 16 because you can't do anything. It's like you're just standing there watching somebody else work. I'm like, this is not fun. Especially when you're on concrete for 10 hours and your legs freaking hurt. It's terrible. I'd rather be moving. But the biggest thing that we had to paint, most of the time it was on a hook. You could pull it down yourself. But the biggest was a hydraulic lift because it was the sleigh. The sleigh was so big and bulky that Santa Claus sat on, the plastic sleigh, that it was huge. There was no way you could pick this mask up and down and stuff. So they had like a hydraulic lift that would pull it up for you. That was a rough job. People thinking you sat all day. No, you did not. So my goofy stories there was the first year I really didn't say a whole lot. I didn't know anybody. A lot of people get, jobs where they know somebody or a friend of a friend or somebody to get in. I didn't know anybody when I applied for this job, not one person. And so I kind of take in my environment and I'm sitting there kind of like watching and you listening to who the snitch is, like tells all the gossip and stuff, and listening to the ones who are naughty. You pick out the personalities when you just sit back and observe. And it was comical because this one kid that worked up there, Jerome, he was so funny. He was the one that would send everything down in the flamer. And I remember one time he was working a booth behind me, and as we started to get to know each other, it was cool because like I would carry root barrels and different candy because you're working like in 110-degree temperature. I would go down 3 pan sizes every summer working in this place. No kidding, because you sweat your butt off. So we would have Gatorade, the company supplied it, and I would send fireballs or root beer or whatever I had with me down the line. So one day I stole his hat. He wore ball caps and I took his hat, and it was so funny because he, like you're in that motion of repetitiveness. And then all of a sudden he sees a snowman coming down the run with his hat on it. And he's going, Timmy, and laughing because he knew I took it. But so we started pulling pranks because I was a big prankster in all my jobs. I got yelled at so bad in this one job I did. You could hear the guy echo all over the place, the plant, like a basement. I was always bad. So I was rubber band butt queen there. You bent over in front of me, you were going to get snapped with a rubber band across your butt. Because I worked in a newspaper plant and I always had rubber bands. So his boss yelled at me. And I waited because I was only there because I took a year off college when my husband was on strike. So I was waiting when he was bending down underneath the plastic machine because he yelled at me. He caught me stinging someone else and he yelled. And I looked at him because me and this kid, Jeremy, at that job, I would steal his pop, and then he decided one day he took his pop and dumped it out and put water in it. So, you think you're getting a big old swig of pop, and I'm like, really? It was water. So we would pull pranks on each other, and like, he would do stuff like that to me. And then I would go down and I would tape because when you worked at the newspaper plant, you're packing papers, like you have a pile of papers in front of you and you're pulling them and you're putting all the advertisements in the comic section at the end. So I took tape and I taped all his comics shut. So like I can't say all of them. It's like the first 5. He's like whipping it and he goes to flipping it and he's like shaking it because it won't open. I laugh because we had it taped. We used to do this stuff to each other all the time. And Tanya used to pick on this other person because it was mainly women, but we only had like a few guys that come in there, so it was hysterical. So this one day when the boss was, he yelled at me because he caught me stinging Jeremy. He screamed at me. So I'm like, really? You didn't have to echo off the walls. You do it one more time and you're fired. I said, that's okay because I've only got a couple weeks left. and I'll just quit. And they knew I was a good worker because they had me in there on Sunday. He goes, I'm just done. I just can't deal with you. So he's down fixing the strap machine and he's underneath the bit and his butt's in the air. Oh, I couldn't resist. I had 3 days left of work there and I took 3 rubber bands at the same time on my thumb and I whacked his ass. He jumped up out of there and I said, go ahead, make my day because I only got 3 days left. He says, you're hopeless. So he just, but it was funny because after a while he just got the joint and he got tired of fighting with us. So, when I worked at this other place, it was all about water. There it was rubber bands. So I stuck a water gun in because it was 110 degrees. It was hot. So Jerome was down in his booth and I stuck around the booth. I sprayed the shit out of him. So the next thing you know, it started a water war. So Patrick was another one because we had 2 lines running and Patrick was going to get even with me because I was getting everybody else. So I was standing down because we had these steps people used to sit and smoke on and you had to go down a flight and then you had a landing and then you turned around and went down another flight. And there was like a long set and then you were at the bottom. Well, I'm sitting down at the bottom on the bench having a cigarette. Patrick decides he's going to get a half a bucket of water and he's going to nail me with it. But what he didn't know was right when he went to dump it, a foreman had just walked in the room from blow mold and he had all his paper orders on his clipboard and he drenched him instead. I laughed so hard. That foreman was furious. We got in so much trouble. We all got wrote up. And it was hysterical. He's like, he screamed all the way up this dozen. I said, I'm sorry, I just can't stop laughing. I laughed and I about peed my pants that day. I said, Patrick, you missed. He got in so much trouble. He like ran and hid. So we were always into something. But Jerome started this Falcon initiation because that was the name of the company I worked for, was called Falcon. And he says, we're going to do an initiation. He says, anytime somebody new starts here, they're getting drenched. So he would wait till the Gatorade bucket was empty and he would take it up and fill it up with ice water and he would drench people. So my daughter decides one summer she wants a part-time job. So guess where I got her the job at? She come in there. And Jerome started to get to know her and found out she was my daughter and she was working, packing boxes, and she turned her back and he drenched that kid clear to her underwear. He said, she's your daughter. She's going to get it. It was so funny. We had so much fun. Jay was ready to kill him. She like shivered all the way home that day. Like, Mom, really? You just had to start this here. But those were the fun days. Oh my God. So when I left that job, I got pictures of us all together. And we get a group picture of the crew of us in a picture together. And it's so cool. But Jerome would wear this cologne. And even though we had masks on to paint with, I could smell that guy a mile away. His cologne smelled so good. And he said it was something that came in, it looked like a test tube. I never did find out what kind of cologne it was. But he said it almost looked like a scientific kind of test tube. It came in and like he says, my grandmother or somebody bought it for him on the holidays. And because he was just a kid. He was only like in his 20s or something like that. And I said, I don't know what it is, but I can always tell when you're near because I can smell it. It comes through my paint mask. I said, so don't even think you're going to sneak up on me. I'm like, Jerome, I know you're there. I could smell you. And he laughed. But whatever the cologne was, it was a really good smell. And I never did find out the name of it because it wasn't like real potent like some guys wear. But I thought that was funny. So what you think? Do you like this color? I know. I love the people that I've had on jobs though. We used to prank each other and do so much fun. We would have a blast. I like this color though. It's got like a pretty shimmer to it. And it doesn't feel, you know how like sometimes you get those fingernail polishes and they feel kind of gritty because of the glitter. This doesn't. This feels pretty smooth. I like it. So who else has been here? Oh boy, I got a thumbs down. Oh yay, like I care. I'll just hide it later because I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of it to show to other people. You got to love those thumbs down people that take the time to actually come to your channel to thumbs it down. They're so lame. What was it someone said? I forget what somebody said on their stream. That if you have that much time on your hands, maybe you need to get a job or something. I don't know. I thought it was funny though. I just look at it this way. Like I said, somebody gives you a thumbs down, it's because they're jealous of you. Because you're doing something better than them. I like what Patty did. When she had a bunch of people do half and half of her thumbs down, I thought that was comical. She's like, go ahead, give me half. I want half. Was you there, Tina? Somebody come in and gave her a thumbs down because they didn't like her saying no to him about something. And I forget how many she had, like 6 or something. And she goes, oh no. She goes, people that give me thumbs up, go make it half. She says, because I don't care what YouTube does. They can take down my channel. I'll just start over. I like her way of thinking. That's why I love going to her stream. Because we don't got to have brownie points to stay here. If my channel would go down, I would do the same damn thing. I would just start over. Because I'm not here for the people who are bitches. I'm here for the friends that I have a blast with. I hope she shows up Thursday. That she comes back. I was really looking forward to her sale on Monday. But I don't know what happened. The only thing I hate about the web is not knowing what happens to people. Did you have any good things for dinner? I actually never had my dinner yet. I got up today, and since today is the 6-year anniversary of my bookstore, I decided to treat myself to a day off. So I went around and kind of thrift shopped. I found another antique store today, Tina. It was really nice. I can't wait till you guys see what I got for the next sale. I'm so excited. I hope it's stuff you guys like. Yeah, I know that Natasha, and I think Natasha said Saturday worked better for her. Not sure about Liz, but Patty usually goes live on Thursdays. Liz is going to be on her first time. Well, cool. My Pearl package came in today, but I didn't get to the mailbox in time, so it's down at the post office. I'll have to go pick it up tomorrow. So that's what my plans are when I first get up tomorrow. is to go pick up my mail. And then I need to do some unboxings. You know what I did though? This is awful. Oh, well, cool. At 5, is that East Coast time? I'll have to check it out. I opened some boxes that I got from Patty and Michelle, and I mixed them up with boxes I've already showed on videos because I kept pounding them in the same place. I hate when I do that. So now I have to go back and look at the videos and see what I showed and what I haven't so that I can do some unboxing videos. I'm going to do my Sunny Fun Time mail. And, but I can't remember. Isn't that awful? One that I bought off of Michelle the one time, as soon as I showed it, I took it out of the box. So I knew that it was done and I put it away. But sometimes I get lazy during the weekdays and I'll just set it to a corner because I know that there's another one and Michelle's on my dresser that I need to do. But I'm confused on a couple of boxes I have back here that I bought off of Patty. I got to go back through them and see which ones I've done because I do love doing that. I don't care if my mail is free or paid for. I love mail, period. So whenever I do my Sunny Fun Time mail, it doesn't matter if it's an order or what. It's just fun. Because I know that there's people that does Happy Meals, and Happy Meals are paid for too sometimes. Like I think there's a site where you can sign up to pay for Happy Meals, and then sometimes they're given for free amongst friends. Like I sent Michelle a mail that was totally just something that screamed at me. I can't wait until she does the video on it. I would love to see her face. I don't know if she opened it already though, like and looks at it previously, but like I was out not looking for this particular book. And it's so funny when it happens. It's kind of like, when you're shopping for a gift card and it just says the right things and you just know it goes to that person. I was looking through books and I literally bought this book for myself. I had purchased it because it had some flowers in it. Well, I brought it home. Did not take the cover off or nothing. So I'm sitting on my bed and I'm just like going through and I decided to flip the jacket off and I was like, oh my God, the cover of that book. And it just screamed Michelle. And so I was like, well, I'm going to have to go find another flower book because this is going to Michelle. So I went through a bunch of my stash. And I really love this because I'm not a pink person. Not saying that I won't ever use pink for something, but I'm not like a total pink. So I went through the stash of some stuff that I had built up and I if it screamed Michelle, I shoved it in a page of the book. So I put some random items inside the pages. So I can't wait till she sees everything because it was really cute. But the cover of this book blew me away. It really did. I ended up buying 2 more and I got one for myself and one that's going to go into my live sale. So when you see the cover, you see the cover of this book, you're going to die. It's like no other cover I've ever seen. And when I saw, because then I got to thinking I liked it, but I wanted her to have that one. So when I bought the other 2, I think what I'm going to do is turn one of them into maybe like, I'm thinking like a scrapbook with the twins in it because like Layla's kind of tomboyish, but Livia's a girly girl. So I think Livy, even though her favorite color is blue, she takes after her Nana Tina. She's a left-hander and she's got the favorite color blue and she loves horses. So she's definitely taken after me. And then Jade's littlest one just started picking up stuff with her left hand. So we think there's going to be another left-hander in the family. And I told Mom that's crazy because like I was the only left-handed kid out of my 3 siblings and my mother is. So now I've got 2 left-handed grandkids, I think. Livia, it's obvious. She will totally, when the teacher encourages you, she totally switches. So I think she's going to be a left-hander. And But I thought it was cute because I thought the girls, that would be like a cute brag book for them. Just to put random pictures of the girls, because I got my 2 grandsons. Well, I don't have my 3rd grandson started, but I got 2 separate books from my oldest grandsons. It's kind of like a scrapbook type thing that they can have one day, maybe when they graduate or something. But I want them to each have a book for me. So, if something ever happens to me, they will have that as memorabilia. And Mike's grandmother, his one grandmother that passed away, I loved what she did. She did the most incredible letter. She wrote this letter to all her grandkids to give them a message to grow with about loving nature, and it was just so beautifully written. And she loved everything. If that woman would even find an animal that was hit by a car and it was still alive, she would take it home and nurse it. She didn't care what it was. And she was just really a nature person. His grandfather could go out in the woods. He could tell you what every leaf was. It was just amazing how they complemented each other in their marriage, because they both love nature. And so I think that's why Jamie is so wonderful at drawing, because his one cousin's a beautiful drawer. She draws everything and anything outside. She posted a bunch of pictures on her Facebook of owls and different. They're just absolutely gorgeous. So detailed with feathers and things. So there's definitely a gift there. But I told him, I said, she wrote the most beautiful letter to her grandkids, and I just wanted to leave some type of nice, positive legacy for my grandkids. And I thought that would be a cute idea, to do like a scrapbook with positive things. And I got my oldest grandson and my next one down clear up to the 1st year. My other grandson, I haven't started his book yet. And then the 3 girls, I haven't either. So I figured with this book, maybe I could work on a scrapbook, because I take a bunch of pictures. They're just not copied because I don't have a printer to get them off. So they're like all stored on my external hard drive. So I need to get a printer that prints photos so I can finish. But even if it's the 1st year of their life, just something. Because with my kids, what I did 2 scrapbooks, and it had the little plate that comes in their baby bed when they're born. It tells you their length and stuff. I stuck that in the top. And then through the years, I gathered like cards their teacher sent them for like Christmas. If they did the physical fitness test, the charts. Kristen won like 3 patches for that. Jade was my spelling winner. She kept winning spelling. She won a little trophy, and I just took a picture of it to stick it in her book, because trophies fall apart later. And so just kind of like, anytime they did anything, I made these books the whole time they were in school. And then when they graduated, it sat on their table when they graduated. We had graduation parties, and so I would set it out where people could come and flip through things that they did and little notes their teachers thought, because I just thought they were cute. That's one thing you hate when your kids get older, is all them homemade little goodies they used to bring you home for Mother's Day. They would have you like message, do a little letter for your mom for Mother's Day or something like that. So I have been doing junk journaling, Tina, just in a different way. I just didn't sew signatures. I stuck them in books. I think I still have one scrapbook back here. I think. Because I had one I built up. You know how like sometimes your family members will take pictures and they're just too big? So that's what I told my mom. Sometimes we get these family portraits done and the pictures are so huge, they don't fit in your, photo albums. So what do you do with them? So I ended up buying this great big green. I know it's green. Let me see if I have it. But I had this green scrapbook and I figured, I'll take and store all my bigger pictures in here. and then have them as memorabilia. So that whenever I go to reach for them later, they're right there. Here it is. I knew I had it. Come on, bag. Let go of it. I don't know what's in this one, though. Oh, this is Kristen's. I must have 2 of them. Kristen didn't take hers because she had her apartment. That's why. So you get to see my youngest ones. So this is what I did. You'll see at the very top, it's got her name. Her birth date, she was 15 inches long, 14 inches in chest. She was 7'12" in weight. She was 7 pounds, 12 ounces. Her length was 21 1/4 inches long. Jade was Jade was 21 inches long, and I think she was 7, 8, something like that. I have to go back and look at her stuff. But this was the book. And then this is one of her report cards when she was in high school. She was in the paper here for, it says, tree remains standing for special reasons. And it says, because their school basement was flooded during the flood of 96, and then they just did where they had preschool. And then this was congratulations. Oh, Kristen was the one, his aunt Cindy got this really cute outfit for her. And they were taking pictures at one of our local, like 5 and 10 stores at the time. And she won the cutest baby contest. Because this outfit was so adorable. It was like pastels. And she had these cute little shoes and a little headband. So it says, congratulations, you have won our cutest kid contest. Please send us your favorite wallet-sized picture so we can complete your trophy. So she got this wee teeny little trophy for the cutest baby, and her picture was in the circle in the top of the trophy. I thought that was so cute. And then here was her certificate of merit. There was her physical fitness, and then perfect attendance awards for attending school. Like, I just stuck any little thing I could get in here. This here was best school bus poster in kindergarten. This here was, her name was in RIF, where they got to, see, it was a blanket and a book party, and it says winners for the RIF coloring announcement, and her name was picked. They received a 99-cent free rental video from one of our video stores, because we didn't have those no more, and selected a Krusty the Krab story. And then this was her attendance. And then let's see. This was another certificate of merit. And then over here was just like, this was first grade where she got to pick a video for something. This here was a fundraiser, and she got for one of the top sellers in first grade. And then this was, she was a culture winners contest winner. She came in honorable mention on this one for a 1997 theme called It Could Happen. She did something under photography. So there's that one. And then here was a math winner contest, cultures, and then here's a thank you. And this was from her teacher. It says, thank you for my bag. I love it. It must have been a gift she gave her for Christmas with her name. And then this was breakfast with Santa Claus, and there's her picture. It was a breakfast. This was through the school in second grade. And there's a picture with her and Santa. I don't know if you can see this or not. And then this here was just Christmas cards. This was a Christmas card she got from a teacher. And there's 2 there, and then this was a thank you from another teacher. These were so cute. And then this was her. She won the National Physical Fitness Award. And then here was her attendance and her physical certificate of merit. I don't know how she passed the physical fitness test because I sure in heck didn't. And then this was a certificate of attendances, another teacher. And then this is a certificate of appreciation. And there's another one. She won another merit National Physical Fitness Award. I was never good at that stuff. I hated physical fitness. And then this was a letter from a teacher, and this was a certificate of attendance. And then here's her baptism paper, certificate of baptism. And then here's this one here. I never did get to mount it. This was something to do with music in the park. She was in chorus, and they got to go sing somewhere, and she got a badge I need to finish gluing in here. So this is one of my first junk journals. Look at all these awards this kid won. This was 2004 Music in the Park, and this was another National Physical Fitness. This was 2003 Music in the Park. She really loved chorus. She was in the Orange Night Chorus, and over here, class of 2004. Her congratulations when she left middle school. And then all her high school years. This is all empty. But I have her pictures from high school in a book. But this, I thought this was cute, and I love the size. And I actually have a book that came in through my bookstore. I kind of want to redo with the shoestring. And I was talking to the rebookery, and I said, wouldn't it be cute? I mean, because I did. I have 2 holes punched for a shoestring to go through. She goes, oh, that's resourceful. Because shoestrings would look cute tied. So that was her book. And I did one for my oldest the same way. So, you know, it was really cool. I know. And then people can go nibbing through their stuff, and she gets all embarrassed. You should see when she dated her first boyfriend. I had to show all those little nude butt pictures. She goes, Mother, really? That's what mothers are for. We torture our kids. Oh. See, I have 2 photo albums done of all their school year pictures. They'll get them. Here recently, my mother gave me back a bunch of pictures I gave her that I had the doubles to. So I made up a photo album with all the pictures I already had and gave it to her for Christmas time. I said, here, get some roots. And I gave her all the doubles my mom had. People used to really like doing photos back then. It's like now we just store them. I have so many pictures of my grandkids that my daughter's never seen because I just haven't had the time to photo print them off. And ink is so freaking expensive. I mean, probably would be cheaper to take my external hard drive to Walmart. It probably would, because they give you probably the best deal. I forget how many. My mother told me she ran off like 100 pictures and only come to like $7. I mean, it's cheaper to do it through them because they have so many people. But I liked bordering mine and making a little bit of a scrapbook with it. So, yeah. And then you got to watch, because if you want copies of something like taken in I think we went to get copies done, I think at Rite Aid one time off of professionals. They wouldn't do it because it's not mine. They won't do reprints because they're copyrighted. I was like, oh crap, I never thought about that for family pictures. You always think that it's just about in books and other people's stuff, but it's actually, because I mean, the last time we went and had our family pictures done, I had to buy the discs to have the rights to them. So that was interesting. Because like my mom and dad, we at one point we were gonna have like one of those memory ones done with music. And there are some photography companies, like say you wanted to put The Way We Were or something like that. If they have the copyrights, you have to pay for that song to be in your video of photos. I found that very interesting. Very, very interesting. But I thought I had another one back here, but I guess I did. Maybe Kristen's was the only one I had, but I could have sworn I had one too. Because mine, this one picture, I don't know why it does this. We went to Put-in-Bay Island one year. Let me see if I can find it back here too. I got some boxes piled up back here on stuff, so if you're going to hear my shuffle. I got to keep extra boxes for when I mail out my giveaways. So I kind of pile them back here for when I need them. This one picture I did, I must have moved it. I don't know what I did with it. I'll have to look for it later. The small picture, it's like there was this picture. We were riding a ferry, and it was beautiful blue water, and the sky was gorgeous, and they had this bird in flight. And I started taking random pictures, and the small, like 4x6, is beautiful. I mean, the blue is so rich and beautiful looking. But for some reason, when I went to blow it up and, print it off, it come out like a pale blue. It kind of like ruined the whole freaking picture. And I really want that. Maybe with technology now, I'll be able to get it. I don't know. Maybe by scanning it in and then trying to redo it. I'm going to try it to see if it's changed, with Windows 10. But I was really disappointed when I took that picture off because it's beautiful. I mean, it's like postcard beautiful. And I'm just so mad that it wouldn't give me the right blue. I was like, no. I don't know if this is our last. We need to get another family picture done because, like, Kylie wasn't here on the first one. She wasn't born yet. But, like, look how cute my grandsons were. Oh my gosh. I look at these pictures. They're like grown up now. They're 9. Look at this picture. This is Angelo. And he looks so sweet. He looks like a little man. I just can't believe how grown up they are now. I see this picture and it's like, oh, they were so little. Look, she's got him in a business suit in this one with a tie. He looks like a little businessman. And then this is Stephen and Angelo together. Both my daughters kept getting pregnant at the same time. So they're close. One was born in May and the other was born in June. That's how close. And then they got pregnant again together, and then Jade had twins and my other one had another son. And then, of course, the last time Jade got pregnant, Krista didn't. Thank goodness. I said, you two are killing me in baby showers. They're so stinking cute. It's hard to believe they're 9 years old. My goodness. So that's the black and white one of that one. And then this is the one in color. This is when they were so young. Oh my gosh. So stinking cute. I love looking back. But she had these really nice ones on Sears I was trying to get off when my computer got hit by lightning. Or it was a power surge, not lightning. And it just had a power surge protector. It was guaranteed for life, and it blew it up. Because we kept getting them. And that power surge took a lot. Because I think the protector took like 7 hits. But that last one was a doozy. It knocked me completely offline, and I was never able to fire up that external hard drive. It was awful. But that's that. These are some of the older pictures I have behind me. I've got bigger ones on my walls in my living room. So awesome. Awesomeness. Okay, what the hell? Oh, really? Sorry. I had a box of stuff and it just hit my floor. Dirty little secret. Lip glosses. Fell on my floor. What a name, Dirty Little Secret. Some of these companies come with some cute stuff. But this will be my next. Yeah, me too. I wore you out the past 2 days. These will be my next project, and then I'm finished with the paintings done. I don't know what I'm going to put on as pictures yet. We shall see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go too. I kind of wanted to cut last night short too, but somebody named Tina kept me talking. I'm going to blame you. Tina did it. She did it. No, I'm going to have to start cutting my other night short too, because I'm like exhausted. You just see me trying to climb out of bed the next day. I'm like, oh, I'm not in my 20s anymore where I only need 4 hours of sleep. I know Keisha, I tell her she's bad all the time too. Well, you guys have a great night. And whoever's in here, because I see 3 watching. And I'm going to go get some Z's. I think I'm going to sit down and maybe watch some videos before I go to sleep. But I'm starving. I didn't have dinner yet. Good night.